That verbiage right there, that kind of turned me on. Anyway.
Hold up. Did Stephen A. Smith really cross the line live on ESPN? And why is nobody breaking this down the right way? Because what he said to Chiney wasn't just a little awkward moment. It instantly shifted the entire broadcast into full-blown HR alarm territory in real time. He actually said on air that hearing her speak French turned him on. Yeah, and it happened live on television. Now the internet is completely divided. Some are brushing it off as harmless banter, while others are saying this is exactly why women in sports media fight to be taken seriously. But here's the question everybody is dodging. Where do we actually draw the line between being an on-air personality and going completely out of pocket? Let's break it down. So it's starting to look like Stephen A. Smith may have stepped over some boundaries with his female guest on ESPN, Chiney. And listen, a lot of you already know who she is, man. She shows up across different ESPN programs, but she's especially known for frequent appearances on First Take. Stephen A. Smith had her on the show, and during that segment, he made comments that many viewers immediately called inappropriate. As you can see in reactions floating online, people are saying Stephen A. is seriously overstepping here, and this is exactly why so many argue female analysts have to work twice as hard just to earn basic respect in this space. And if you're wondering what sparked all of this, it goes back to Stephen A. Smith saying Chiney turned him on while speaking French. Now keep in mind that ESPN has dealt with plenty of controversial moments on air in the past. Remember the whole Malika Andrews, RJ Barrett, and Jalen Rose situation that had everyone talking?
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose welcoming in the man with the best hair in television. Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose welcoming in the man with the best hair in television.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose
welcoming in the man with the best hair in television.
And let me tell y'all something that's very, very direct and clear, so ain't no gray area. First off, you damn right I hug my sister, because I'm a real one, I'm a boss, and I'm a G. Next, I didn't put my finger under her armpit. If you look at the picture, I only got 4 fingers and 1 thumb, and they on her shoulder.
If you guys remember that whole situation, man, it got serious fast because Jalen Rose actually had to step in publicly and respond, basically saying, yo, I didn't touch that girl. Go back and watch the tape. And then once people actually rewatched everything, it turned out RJ was involved in that moment. Yeah, ESPN has definitely had its fair share of messy, uncomfortable on-air situations like that. So now let's get into this Stephen A. Smith clip, because if you haven't seen it yet, this is what started the whole conversation. Stephen A. Smith basically said that his guest, Chiney, speaking French, turned him on live on First Take. And listen, before we go further, smash that like button if you haven't already, because it really helps push this channel. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I drop next. Alright, let's get into it.
Bonjour, Stephen A. Je m'appelle Chiney. Et Rudy Gobert, il est magnifique. Il est magnifique. He has been phenomenal. Rudy Gobert's defense, he's been magnificent. I hope I did all the French people proud there with my pronunciation. I'm more of a Spanish girl.
You did. You did me proud.
There you go, girl.
You did me proud. You did me proud.
Yes,
I'm here to tell you.
I'm an Igbo girl, but I pivoted a little bit because Rudy Gobert, il est magnifique. He's been fantastic in this matchup. I wouldn't say that it's Nikola Jokic by himself because no Aaron Gordon has been a big factor as well when it comes to their burst and their production like we saw yesterday. But I am in awe. Rudy Gobert is probably one of the most criticized players in the NBA, and the Frenchman has taken this matchup personally. He has looked phenomenal. And if you think about what this matchup has done defensively, he held Jokic in this series so far to 13 of 40 shooting, 4 of 19 from 3. And a lot of people we've seen multiple highlights isolate Rudy Gobert one-on-one. We've seen like Luka Doncic, a number of players try to just get at him that way. Well, You know, Nikola Jokic has had opportunities one-on-one on the top of the key. Again, he's been able to move and keep him in single coverage. Right now, the Timberwolves, we saw what Jaden McDaniels said. They want the smoke. They want the smoke, and we're seeing the best version of these teammates that are the supporting cast alongside a superstar in Anthony Edwards. So you have to give a lot of credit to the Frenchman for rising to the occasion in this moment.
I have to. I got to get a little personal here first for a second here, Shay and Chene. I mean, you know, listen. I'm living a good life. I'm pretty damn happy, to say the least. But I must admit, in all my years on this earth, I've never dated a woman from France or anything like that. But after hearing Chene, I was like, what have I been missing? What have I been missing? I mean, that language, that verbiage right there, that kind of turned me on. Anyway, let me get back to the focus at hand. I got to tell you, when you look at Jokic, in all seriousness.
Alright, so this is that clip of Stephen A. Smith basically admitting that Shanae speaking French had him turned on, man. Listen to this, and like I said guys, the comment I showed you where people are basically saying Stephen A. Smith massively crossed the line, saying this is exactly why female analysts constantly struggle for respect, because a male hanker openly admitting a female colleague turns him on really highlights how women are still seen more as entertainment than actual equal peers. And I need you guys to tap into the comments down below and tell me how you feel about this. Do you think Stephen A. Smith crossed the line here? Because this could turn into a much bigger deal, and as I showed you before with that ESPN Malika Andrews situation involving RJ and Jalen Rose, that was already a huge moment at the time. I've also made other breakdowns highlighting RJ's behavior toward female analysts at ESPN, and honestly, they are doing a lot of questionable things over there, as you can see from clips like this. So I saw another clip of Tristan Thompson on the show, and apparently he ended up placing his leg against Shanae's, like right behind her leg, and you already know what the moment was implying, man. He saw Shanae in that dress, and you know what I mean, she had the legs out on full display. So at that point, you can pretty much tell exactly what Tristan Thompson was attempting. So with that being said, let me pull up that Tristan Thompson clip, and I'll be right back with more commentary.
One-on-one.
Cooking, one-on-one, cooking, cooking, baseline.
That's the scary thing, Malika, about this.
That's the scary
Thing about it, as a defender, one time I go double. Well, guess what? I'm not going to do the next time. I'm not going to double. I'm staying home.
Okay, guys, I know you
No one
just...
likes getting dunked on.
See that, RJ?
Hold up, I know you
That's
dunked
the
on me,
first.
but I'm gonna drop a nugget. You know, ever since Kyrie joined the Mavericks, they are the #1, probably likely isolation team. They're the only team in the NBA with 2 players that lead the top 10 in isolation buckets. So yeah, you got a bucket on me, but I'm gonna give you a
she just
a nerdy
verbally
bucket.
dunked on you.
Yeah.
Well, we already mentioned.
So yeah, man, listen. I went ahead and dropped another video breaking down how RJ has this ongoing pattern of literally putting his fingers in Malika's armpit in these moments.
Yo!
Get your fingers out of my armpit, bro.
Get your fingers out of my armpit, bro.
And that's exactly why I'm asking y'all today, like, listen, what the hell is really going on at ESPN? Because a lot of you kept dropping that same comment under my video, especially the one showing RJ basically stripping live on ESPN. And a lot of people were straight up like, yo, what the hell is going on at ESPN? Again, man, that's actually a video I dropped a while back just calling this whole thing out. And so now, with Stephen A. Smith making these kinds of comments live on air, who knows? ESPN might actually have to step in and get people in line about how they conduct themselves, because if Shanna really comes out and says Stephen A. Smith made her uncomfortable, that could turn into a massive behind-the-scenes issue. And nobody really knows how they're going to handle that, especially since Richard Jefferson has already been crossing lines with those women to the point where, as I said, they're literally saying it's a violation of company policy, but ESPN just kept ignoring it. But with a big name like Stephen A. Smith, you already know, he gets treated a whole different way, man. So yeah, Stephen A. Smith definitely needs to watch himself, and in my opinion, he shouldn't have even said that live on air. So now we're left with a bigger conversation than just Stephen A. This is about power, professionalism, and what actually gets excused when the cameras are rolling live at ESPN. Because if comments like this slide for someone as big as Stephen A., then what does that really mean for everybody else in the studio who doesn't have that same level of protection? Was this just a joke that got taken too seriously, or are we looking at a bigger pattern that people keep ignoring until it finally blows shows up. Now I want to hear from you. Did Stephen A cross the line, or is the internet just overreacting again? Drop your thoughts, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because trust me, this story is far from over.